YouTube. Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Hope it isn't socks. Yeah, so got a box from Royal Mail. I was from Stephen, who was the Parcel Force delivery driver, and I've been watching him all morning because it's got a tracker thing. So here we go. This is from I bought this on eBay for myself. I shouldn't have bought it. I couldn't say no. I kind of feel guilty about it already. It better be good. It actually came from a guitar place called Golden Axe Music. So I emailed them. I bought this last week. I emailed the other day saying, just any updates, posted it. It was like, we had to, please bear with us, we had a bit of an issue we had to get a special box to take it, and it's like, because it's a bass, and basically what they've done is they've chopped the top off a guitar box. It's like, they've had a box, they put the bass in it, and they've gone, oh, it's this much, so they've kind of extended it. Fair enough, as long as it arrived intact. This might be quite a long what's in the box, because there's quite a lot of duct tape on it. So I think what I've really got to do and try and do is cut this top bit off. Maybe 100%. Do you actually want to have a razor sharp Stanley blade in your Stanley knife or not? Because sometimes when you've got a brand new blade in, I've actually got a packet of brand new blades, but when it's really, really, really sharp, it really is. You just go, haha, and you accidentally keep nicking your arms and stuff like that, so less chance of death doing it this way, for a bleed in it. I got incredibly drunk last night. Went to see Richie Kotzen and Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden and Poison, right? Richie Kotzen was in at some point. Yeah. Right, so there's the special extension. So duct tape's not quite as easy to cut as you get so many uses out of a guitar box. I think this one is this might have been its last use. There's so many times you can post a guitar in a box and you keep the box, and then once it gets to a certain point it just becomes a little bit too right. Up there. I think that might be all I need. Oh, it came with one of those gig bags. A sort of it was Karanchi. Okay, yeah, so it came in a gig bag, if you call it that. So what we have here is a Washburn Force 4. I do have, and question 1 answered, no, it doesn't have the Toblerone neck, which I kind of wanted it to have, but I've actually got another Washburn Force 4 that I bought a few years ago, and what had happened is at some point it had been dropped bang on the head, and this is like a solid maple neck, so what it did was it split the body, and the whole body kind of split, and it kind of curved, and I tried to patch it up, and a couple of times and eventually just gave up. It does have the Toblerone neck on it, so this neck might not be staying on this guitar. It's a kind of funny one because you see these, it's exactly a P bass. The outline is exactly a P bass, but it's got a much deeper scoop, and that's because the neck attaches here. So the actual neck bolt, there's no heel on it for extreme high access. It kind of comes in here below the scratch plate. So whether I end up keeping this neck on it, this one interestingly does have, it's got the original tuners on it. These are from a much earlier model of bass. They will be original to this guitar. This one's 1983, but these are the actual George Washburn ones. And instead of having the tension adjustment screw on the top like most tuners do, these have got like a sleeve on them. So these are the sort of Yamaki tuners. Got the original bridge. I suppose I'll just plug it in and see if it works. It does have some tape on it, as you can see here. which will be coming off clearly, and then it will be getting cleaned because it's absolutely manky. It really is. It did, to be fair, it kind of looked manky in the picture. That's probably why nobody bought it. So I suppose I'll plug it in and see if it works, eh? I don't think I've actually... I've always got straps lying about. I might need to go next door and get a strap. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, this should be interesting. As you may already know, an interesting different kind of strap button on it. I do actually, I like my Washburn guitars. So this is the Force 4. I do actually have a Force 2, which was previously owned, which if I could have been bothered, I would have looked it out and I would have played the wee song at the start on it, which was owned by the guy who played Onslow from Keeping Up Appearances. Was also in the Doctor Who Trial of a Time Lord. Geoffrey Hughes, I think his name was. So I've got a Force 2, which is basically a guitar. Well, the tuner's not responding. That's kind of... Oh, is it? Okay, so it's responding now. Maybe not very good jack output. Well, it works. Yeah, I thought it was a wee bit dirty. No tone. I thought it was used to work. Actually, it plays amazing. It really does. Sounds really good as well, even though we don't have a tone. Easily fixed, and it's pretty dirty, but it balances really well. Crackle there, but I would imagine that's probably just a dirty jack socket. This bass does have that feeling of it's not been used in a decade. It's not in bad condition. It's not in, it's maybe just more neglect than anything else. Just that sorted that, didn't it? a certain going on. It's really, really easy to play, and I'm a total lover of the P bass in general, which, let's be honest, is what this is. I suppose it's a slightly Telecaster. I think it says Force 4 in the head. It does. I quite like this double stripe thing, giving it a sort of hot rod car look. Not so keen on the white tape competition stripes. That tape's been on for a while. It's just electrical tape. And a bit of a bandage here. I'd imagine there's probably a big chunk out of here. That's why there's like a red bandage. But it's pretty solid, and the neck hasn't split the body like it has on my failed one. So I will need to make something out of whether, I don't know. The thing is, the neck's it's actually a really nice neck. It's whether is this better than the deep V triangular one I've got. It kind of might be, but then again, it's not exactly difficult to swap over. I'm pretty sure it's still got its tuners on it as well, so it would really just be a case of taking off the scratch plate, undoing 4 bolts, putting the other neck on, and seeing what it's like, see which one I like better. I would have made a bass out using the other parts. I'd have to make a body for it though because of this funny neck joint, because it's heelless. Obviously it gives unrestricted access to the top of the fingerboard if you ever want to be up there. It does, it's got P bass going the wrong way. I don't have a P bass on the wall just now. It does. I'm pretty sure normally a P bass pickup has the bass strings are here, so it's like the bass strings get bassier and the treble strings get treblier, whereas this is the other way around. BC Rich do that sometimes as well. I maybe makes the strings more like each other because you're getting the sort of bassier strings are slightly towards the treblier ends, and the treblier strings are slightly towards the bassier, so there's maybe not the same range. Whereas if you had it the other way, the bassy strings are getting not neck pickup, but going towards the neck pickup, so it'll be bassier than the treblier strings. Maybe it's more balanced. Don't know. But this was an absolute steal. Apart from the fact that the tone control's not working, I don't think there's really any issues with it. I could do with a bit of a clean. So expect a Washburn Force series coming up, because as I was saying, I started saying there, I've got the Force 2, which was owned by Onslow from Keeping Up Appearances. It's a 2 humbucker with a tremolo guitar. I've also got another Force, which is annoyingly not a Force 1. It's also a Force 2, but it's just got a single humbucker. And so I was thinking, wouldn't it have been handy if that was a Force 1, and then I did Force 2, Force 1, single humbucker, Force 2, 2 humbuckers, Force 3 is like a Strat layout. Got one of them as well. I bought that one by mistake. And then Force 4 being 4 strings on the bass, and then I've got the blue one, which is a Force 8, which is basically the same as this, apart from it's got white. It's blue with white binding on it and a maple fingerboard. But I'm really impressed with the way this plays. I mean, this should not have been this price. This should have had the tape taken off it and been polished up and had some better photos. And this should be, I mean, this is, I don't want to say better than any Squier, because obviously they did make Squiers in Japan at one point, and some of them are pure amazing. But it's kind of better than a Squier P bass. Any Squier P bass really, and possibly some Fenders. I don't know. So this afternoon, this will be getting cleaned. This might be going into the next Sabbath rehearsal actually, because this is just dead easy. In some ways, actually, it's kind of better than the Force 8. I think, even though it's a much more expensive one, it's lighter. And so what happens sometimes is, like, see when you get like a simplified guitar, kind of like your Les Paul Junior idea, where they simplified it right down and it became really good. This kind of has that somewhere. There's just no fancy bits on this at all. It's got quite a solid looking bridge with, you know, grooves to stop the things sliding, like one of your high mass ones. Oh, it's even through strung. And it's got, I suppose, a high, you could call that a frivolous thing, the high access neck on it, P-bass pickup, volume and a tone, well, volume and a not working tone. What else? What else do you need for a bass? I suppose I'll go get the other one, so bear with me again, sorry if I keep leaving you. I could pause it, but I mean, literally, I totally know what it is because I saw it this morning. So here's my previous Force 4. As you can see, this is, you know, what had happened here was is the neck even going to fit in since I've been in at it? Sort of. Yeah. So there it is. There. That's what I'm saying. You know, the neck bolts on here, but what's happened here is because this has been dropped and it's the neck's gone like that, and it's basically split the guitar. And there was big splits down the front, so I tried belt sanding it flat, filling the holes with glue, all this stuff, and eventually gave up. This does have the deep V neck on it though. I don't know if you're be able to see that. Oh yeah. It just looks the same, doesn't it? It's got the deep V neck. I was right about the tuners. These are slightly different. These are no, it's the same tuners, but they don't have Washburn written on the back of them. So this will have to be getting turned into something else, and basically it's going in the bin, the body. It's like I spent so much time on it. I don't know if you can actually see how, like, look how bent that is, and that's me trying to fold it flat. So it was basically, you know, like it did that. Like when it got split, it was the top part of it that got split, and it totally curved like that. And I thought I shouldn't have bought it. I bought it because I've got the Force guitars, but see, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it a shot. So basically, I've got an entire spare one. Everything. I've got the pickups, the bridge, another scratch plate. Might actually get some money for the scratch plate. Maybe someone would want that. But then thinking making a body, I might make it like my. I do have another. Where it is, I'm not 100% sure. My Shockingbird. After I'd made the Shockingbird, it is this. I did cut 2 bodies for it, so I've got another one of these bodies that I made at the same time. So it might be quite. It would have to have some sort of scratch plate to hide this, but gonna kind of Telecaster-y. Maybe put a crazy pickup in it. I do actually have a triple pickup, which I quite fancy putting in it. Well, that'd be quite good. I could have like a triple pickup in the neck. If I've had the maybe not enough room. Oh well, yep. So first things first. This is getting the scratch plates coming off. I'm fixing that tone control, and then it's getting a wipe, and it's losing the tape. I actually don't dislike the look of that. I kind of like it's like maybe see if it just did the white competition stripe, like Fender Mustangs, might be pretty cool. I think it might actually be a little bit comfier than Force 8 as well, because the Force 8's got a binding on it. It's obviously it's a very that shape on your arm, where this is a bit rounded. And again, these are sort of unknown origin. I think they might be made by Dyna, who are the same folk made my Ibanez Blazer, because there was this one's an 83. The Force 4, the one that's in bits, doesn't have a serial number on it. I do have the neck plate somewhere, but it just says Made in Japan Washburn. And I think that dates it to slightly before that, and because it's got the V-shaped neck, I think that tends it to be slightly earlier as well, so it's maybe a 1982. I don't think these were ever made by Yamaki, being the sort of Fendery type. And later on they were made by Cushion, so I'm not really sure, but it's exactly the same colour as my A5 actually, which is 83 as well, so not exactly sure what was going on with Washburn in 1983, but later on you do get this. In fact, my pal James has got one, the Force 8, which is the same one with binding. You can get that in the BBR, so it's like black everything with red writing and a red binding on it. But I think the quality level drops a little bit when you get a wee bit later on. Interested to see whether, when the next time you see this bass, whether it will have the V neck on it. I think this is a really nice neck as well. But then again, if I'm going to make a Shocking Bird or something, then why not? In fact, I think to be honest, actually both the bases cost the same. Without the postage, I picked that one up in a wee shop called Relics in town when I shouldn't have bought it. I did haggle the guy down. I think I got it from 150 down to 90 or something like that. But it was a waste. I thought I could fix it. I didn't look at it properly because the thing it sort of played, but I never really looked at the idea of like the whole body being smashed. But to be honest, it was probably kind of worth that for the tuners. Well, their neck's worth that, basically. That's what I just got. So Washburn Original Force series, definitely worth looking out. Nobody knows what they are. They don't go for expensive. I mean, I think my Force 3, as I said, I bought it by mistake. I'm pretty sure it was sitting at, it was like a £50 starting bid, and it was going at for a Friday, 11 o'clock in the morning or something. So I just put a bid in a week to go, like, you know, 50 quid. That's interesting. I put in a bid of like, I think I got it for 56 or something. I kind of forgotten about it. I think I put in 60 quid, and then it was like, you know, Friday night, beep, you've won. It was like, oh, what have I won? Like, for 60 quid. The thing had a Seymour Duncan broadcaster pickup in it as well, which I sold for 60 quid. Rock on, see you later. See you on Sunday live stream. Maybe have it up and running by then. Hopefully my neck won't hurt anymore. Just getting old. It's pure pish. Richie Coxon was pretty good last night though, and Adrian Smith. I got too drunk. Me and my pal G went in. We got the bus and had a bottle of Bucky, decanted into a Ribena bottle, drinking that in the bus. Got off the bus, went to the wee off license round the shop, round the corner. We bought a wee bottle of Magnum each. Tanned them, walking up to the garage, into the garage, pint, you know. It's like, and then, so basically, just because I haven't been out for so long, you know, going on a proper. There's a point where you just can drink too much, and I can't. They were good. The band bass player was really good. But that was maybe because we were kind of at the side, so you could totally hear the bass and the snare drum. Could maybe didn't have the best guitar-y sounds, but that's because we're at the side and below the sides. Actually, I took a couple of videos where I've now realised that how not to take videos of. So I was like, using my new phone. Somehow I managed to film the whole thing on its side, even though I was holding the phone like that. It's filmed it that way. And also just like having like a big screen and stuff. It was like over zooming. So it's like, whoa, zoom in, zoom out. Over there, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, out, zoom in. And it's like pretty much ruined it. I have put the video on YouTube just to show my pals and stuff, but I don't know what the song's called, so I need to look up their album and try and find the song so I can at least put it up. And I'm not monetized or anything like that. Might be of interest to someone. It just played really well, this though. As I said, and it'll be 40 years old next year, so proper double vintage. Rock on, see you Sunday, or whenever I'm on.